It's time to embrace the suck. Welcome to Vampire Survivors. What we're working with here is a time survival game with roguelite elements in which we are monster hunters. Meet Antonio. Antonio just wants to live his life flipping things like there's no tomorrow, but unfortunately he's beset upon by all kinds of unspeakable horrors. And so what we're doing right now, as you can see the bar at the top of the screen, that blue bar, that is our XP. So every time we pick up those blue crystals by killing monsters, we are increasing our XP. And each time we level up, we're going to get either new abilities or the opportunity to upgrade previously obtained abilities. So let's take a look, for example, at what we've got here. Fire Wand, that's going to be a slow fire but high damage ranged attack. Cross is going to be a line of damage in one particular direction in a boomerang effect. And then this water here is going to be kind of an AoE type of damage attack right here. We're going to take the cross, I think, for the time being, just so you can kind of see what that looks like. There we go. So we want to get as much XP as we can, as quick as we can, because we are on the clock. So as you can see there, 35, 36, 37 seconds into this wave. We need to hurry because with each increasing minute comes harder and harder enemies. For this level up, let's go with taking our basic weapon that we started with, the whip, and taking it to level 2. So now our whip, as you can see, instead of just having to face one direction, it will whip in both directions, which is very nice. So for the time being, we're not having too much difficulty with these vampiric bats. You know, they all go down in one hit, but pretty soon we're going to start getting some tougher enemies, and right on cue, here they come. We've got some shambling corpses, zombie type folks, and they're going to take, or at least some of them are going to take at least a couple hits to go down, which is why we really want to farm up enough XP to really ramp up our damage as quick as possible. So that's what we're doing. We're trying to kind of toe the line between collecting XP and putting out damage. Let's go ahead and take our whip up to level 3. Just make sure that our base damage is always staying high enough. So those fire pits that you see over here, they are not just decorative. They are actually, in fact, very important to what's going on here. One of the things that those fire pits can drop is health. As you can see, that red bar below our character is our health, and when that drops to completely black, we are dead, and there are no revives, there are no second lives here. So if we need to get health, those fire pits sometimes will have those. Sometimes it will just have gold coins. And gold coins are not actually used for anything within a given run. They are used in between runs when we are upgrading characters, abilities, and such in between deaths. We're going to go ahead and take a look at these abilities. We can get our cross to level 2. We can have some sort of passive HP recovery, but 0.2 HP per second is not that great when you look at the top left and see that we have 160 max health. And then the bracer would increase our projectile speed. I think we're going to go with the cross and just keep that pumping up. Alright, we are getting to the point, health-wise, where I would like to grab some health. So that roast chicken right there looks delicious, and it works for us. So there we go. We are going to have the opportunity to pick up more gold along the way, but as I said, it's not going to give us anything in the time being. It's just going to be essentially reserved for different characters who have different type of inherent natural abilities. And so you could switch the characters up depending on what your playstyle might be. So what do we got here? Inflicted damage by 10%, max health up by 20%, or that HP recovery. Let's just go overall damage infliction. because that is going to be universally useful no matter where in the run we are. Not too difficult, again, still, because we've gotten several abilities which are triggering simultaneously. But it would be nice to get some more AoE type damage, if at all possible. So that is one thing I'm going to be looking for as we get close to level 7. I'm going to leave that health alone because it's going to become very valuable here not too long. Guess we'll get our base damage up to 10%. Knife, essentially, it will fire in the direction which you're facing. That's not my favorite one because we're not always facing in the proper direction for it to be effective. And then there's a chance to freeze enemies in time, which I have not experimented with yet. So full disclosure, I've got about an hour or so of playtime previous to this recording, simply because a number of the abilities and sort of basic options that you can pick up are locked when you start the game, and it's not until your 5th or 6th run that you can really start to see the length and breadth of what's available. So I wanted to give you guys kind of a head start in that regard. Alright, we're picking up our first treasure. So this is going to give us two things. This is going to give us gold coins, which can be used in between deaths, and it's going to upgrade one of our pre-existing abilities. So in this case, we get 193 gold, and we picked up a upgrade to our cross, which is now at level 3. Really good. Oh, and we get a level up. So we can get spinach to increase our damage. We've got this circling zone bombarding, or we can do this more defensive-minded upgrade, which shields from damage while active periodically. Let's go ahead and do that, because we're going to need to run through some of these guys to pick up our XP. Fortunately for us, it doesn't appear that health drops will expire over time. They'll just stay there if we need to go back for it, so that is why I'm leaving that roast chicken there for the time being, because if we really need it, I want to be able to go up there and pick it up. Alright, we've got this Pichon Bombard, we've got this King Bible circling type damage, and we've got this Magic Wand, which is a single fire seeking type attack, which I think we will take. So without any input from us, it will just automatically auto-target the nearest enemy and fire, which, because of the sheer number of enemies that we are encountering, we will always have a hit. One thing we need to be aware of is not straying too far from the XP that we've earned by killing enemies. It will be often tempting to flee in a particular direction because the crowd is so large, but we're getting so many passive kills that it would be a shame to leave all of that experience behind. We can increase our Laurel. Cooldown reduced by half a second. Shield and vulnerability increased by 0.2 seconds. Or we can increase our Whip and increase our base damage. Why don't we go ahead and increase our damage? I'm just worried that we're going to be lagging behind in our damage output. So we are at level 10 right now, which is actually pretty good for being under 5 minutes. I would like to start being able to one-shot just about everything that we come into contact with. That's kind of, in my opinion, how you know that you are building at an appropriate pace, because right over the 5-minute mark, I believe we'll start getting enemies who will take a couple hits, or more than a couple, to take down. And you want to be able to one-shot most stuff by that point. Alright, the knife, the Pichon, or we could get the cross to fire one more projectile. I will say that in my limited test experience, it seems to be a bit more effective to have 2 or 3 weapons that you upgrade to a higher level versus having 5 or 6 abilities that are just at level 1 or 2, if that makes sense. So really making some tough choices to seriously upgrade some abilities kind of seems to be the name of the game. So there's the spinach, which we already have experience with, but now we also have this attract orb, which will essentially magnet in dropped items that we encounter along the way, or we can increase our max health by 20%. I'm gonna... Ooh, tough choice. Tough choice. Let's go ahead and take a little bit of max health. Just because I'm a bit worried about our survivability in the long haul. Now, this would be a perfect opportunity, in my opinion, to take this health drop. There we go. And see, I didn't even top us off, so... that was probably a good time to have it. We're running a little bit dry. Oh, there's another health drop right there. So I guess we could stay in the general vicinity in case we need to pick it up here before long. There's this red money bag, which is going to give us some gold coins. Again, not super helpful for us in the short term, but nice to have when all is said and done, when we're looking to upgrade our characters. So not only can you upgrade characters in between runs, but you can also upgrade passive abilities. So for example, if you want to start out with more max health, or you want to increase the character's movement speed, which is one of the first ones that I opted for, you have the ability to grab some of those upgrades, which is really, really nice. So there is an ability to improve future runs based on rewards that you procure during this time. So these green ghosts, again, as you can see, are taking quite a bit of punishment, and they are not going down. So this might be a good opportunity to kind of lead them on a little bit of a goose chase here. Just to try to pick up some of the XP that we left behind. I'm getting all kinds of waves here now. There's a health drop there that maybe we want to hold on to for the time being. We've got this wave of bats, which, as intimidating as it looks, can actually be quite helpful for farming easy XP, since they just go down in one hit. Just gotta make sure to not get too caught up in the swarm. Alright, let's go ahead and increase our shield to level 2. Just to get that invulnerability effect going a bit longer. Almost ticking over to the 8-minute mark. Now you see these green crystals, I believe they're worth a bit more than the blue ones. And of course the red ones that we have maybe seen before are worth the most of all. So you'll notice now at the top of my screen, there is that arrow pointing off the edge of the map, and that is saying, hey, you missed a treasure. So there are certain enemies that are highlighted. You could see an example of one, that bat right there in the middle of the screen, and they take quite a few hits to take down, but the reason for that is because they contain those treasures. So it's pretty important to be able to pick those up while you can. So let's see what we get. We're going to get ourselves more gold, of course, and then what ability is going to be upgraded? Looks like our wand is going to go to level 2, is it? Yeah. So fires an additional projectile. Very good. Alright, there's that health, which I will probably not take right this second. I'm just going to keep farming all of this around here. Alright, these zombies are starting to go down a bit quicker, which is always nice for us. Those bats flying through, dropping some solid XP for us. We're just going to sort of sashay our way through that crowd right there. Maybe swing around up north here. Gotta watch out for these pterodactyl type. I think they're bats, but I just call them pterodactyls. Because they are a little bit tankier than some of the other enemies that we're facing right now. Alright, weapon cooldown reduced by 8%. Sure, let's do that so that we can get our stuff firing off quicker. Lots of really good XP for us to pick up. One thing I have noticed that it's very easy to get sort of caught on the environment. Like these trees and brushes and such, so you always have to be very, very careful to navigate your way around them, because otherwise, even if you lose like half a step, it can be a bad day for you. Alright, so we've we're able to freeze time temporarily, I'm going to use that opportunity to go pick up this magnet, which is going to magnet in all of this delicious XP that we've left lying around. And that magnet that we just picked up was in one of those fire pits, which it can drop health or it can drop other cool stuff, like this, for instance. Okay, whip can go up, or we can get this, it says Santa water, so I believe the developer, if I'm not mistaken, is Italian, and I think that Santa is also translated as holy, which would make sense. As hilarious as Santa water would be, I think it's probably meant to be holy water, but if you want to think of it as water from the North Pole, I certainly will not stop you. I will not deprive you of that joy. But anyway, so as you can see here, it's going to have that little splash coming down there every so often, and we can upgrade, you know, the damage output, the have it be an increased duration, increase the amount of damage that it puts out, or the number of puddles that it outputs. There's a lot of ways that you can go about approaching upgrades. Alright, those flowers do hurt you, so you gotta watch out and make sure you don't linger too long. Now, these huge praying mantis types, because they are bosses, they actually do count as treasure monsters, so if and when we're able to kill them, they will actually have a nice little treasure for us as a reward, which is just fine with me. Alright, speaking of treasure, there's one right there. However, we're going to need to lead this group on a little bit of a wild goose chase, just so that it gets out of the way and I can actually pick it up. Alright, and here is the skeleton horde. Happens usually right around the 10-minute mark. And so this is the point where I'm hoping I'm able to more or less one-shot most of them as I move my way through. Seems to be okay so far. So we could take the whip to level 6. Candelabrador. Woof woof. Augments area of attacks by 10%, or max health again. Sure, area of effect attacks. I believe our whip counts as one, so that would be pretty useful, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, let's see if we can start making our way towards that treasure now. I think we've created enough space in which it should be possible to get over there now. Let's see what we're working with. Alright, that is our holy water. Love to see it. Up to level 2, so now it'll drop 2 of those instead of just 1. Oh, yes. The magnet is just what I needed. Alright, what do I want to do here? We could go more... There's 2 defensive type upgrade here with Laurel and the Hollow Heart, or we could just go sheer damage output on the whip. Why don't we take a bit more... Definitely, I think I want to go defensive here, but which one is the question? Why don't we go max health for the time being? Wow, we're going to get several levels out of this. This is awesome. We'll take the magic wand. Yet another level. We're suffering from success here. Yeah, maybe even the whip, because the area of effect will be increased in size. That was super duper helpful. Let's try to not throw away all that good work by dying. Alright, if we can sort of cut our way to a health drop. There we go. There's one. Alright, up to level 20 now already. Now, I will admit, level 20 is actually the farthest I've ever gotten, so you're witnessing history, folks. Come on. Another health drop here? No. No such luck. Alright, these werewolves definitely seem to be the sturdy type, so we'll try to give them a wide berth wherever we can. Now, essentially, what I'm doing right now is just hunting for fire pits, so I can maybe get a bit more healing. It's very tough just from the sheer saturation of enemies here to kind of target these little XP drops. We're just going to sort of passively pick them up wherever we happen to run across them, I think, is the way this is going to go. Maybe we could pick up a few of these here. Look at all this. Boy, I could go for another magnet right about now. There are upgrades you can get which increase your swath that will automatically pick things up, which is always super duper nice. Base damage up by 10% across the board, or this holy water up to level 3. Tough choice. Let's go spinach. Just because I really want to make sure that we're cutting through these guys without too much of an issue. Oh boy. Alright, level 21. So, that is going to be a high score for us in terms of levels. But, man oh man, yeah, that's kind of how it gets right around this level 20. Just sheer insanity. And so now we've got this nice little results screen, which we can take a quick look at here. So we survived for 13 minutes, reached level 21, defeated almost 3,000 enemies. And now here are the metrics for stats nerds like you and me, where we can see the net damage and then the damage per second, or the DPS. So it looks like our base weapon, the whip, did pretty alright, all things considered. Really good damage output and really good DPS. But the cross is actually the MVP, with the highest net damage output and the highest DPS. So that is awesome to see. And you could see all the rewards we picked up from these fire pits here on the right side, as well as our perk choices. But our job's not done, so even though we're kicked back to the main menu, there's a couple things we can do here. The first thing I'll point you to is at the top of the screen where it says 1477, that's our current gold stash. And the place that we can utilize that is here in the power-ups in the middle. I've already bought a few of them just to kind of experiment with them, so right now I've bought all the max health ones, I've bought all the move speed ones, and I bought one magnet one. Now, the rub for these, the drawback, is that for each upgrade that you buy, they become more expensive anywhere else on the board. So, for example, if I were to get 1 point in might right here, the first level of armor will also become more expensive. So not only does it become more expensive within the same set, it'll become more expensive across all of them. So you gotta, parcel out your gold very, very carefully. If you do get buyer's remorse and decide you want to pull it all back and redistribute it, you can do the refund power-ups button here at the top and pull it all back. But I'm pretty happy with my choices for now, for the time being. So speaking of which, I'm going to take this second magnet upgrade, just because being able to pull the XP in as quick as possible is very, very nice. We've got 800 left to work with. So let's see what we want to do here. We could always do cooldown. We can't afford cooldowns. Raises damage, inflicted damage by 5% per rank. Why don't we buy 2 of those? And that's perfect. This unlocks tab over here, this is kind of like our achievements, where it'll give us different challenges to be shooting for. So right now we are in the Mad Forest, but that is not the only level in this game. There's quite a few other types of environments and habitats for us to encounter. So you can see here, there's, for example, there's the library, the plant, and the tower. There are different characters which you have to survive with or level up certain weapons to higher and higher proficiencies. I'm definitely not a completionist or an achievement hunter by any stretch of the imagination, but I like to check in here from time to time just to kind of see what's what. And last but not least, if we hit the start button, we're going to see our character options. So the one that we were playing with just now was Antonio, and he had the whip, as you can see there at the bottom, and his passive character ability was to gain 10% more damage every 10 levels. Antonio is fine. He's actually the first character that you are given for free in the game, which is why I wanted to sort of demonstrate the game with him at first. But each of these other characters have different passives, and they have different starting weapons as well. So, for instance, Imelda starts with the wand, which auto-targets every so often. Gennaro throws 2 knives in the direction in which he is facing. and so on and so forth. We've got a couple here which we have not unlocked yet. Mortaccio and Arca, and they can be unlocked through gold as well. I'm going to go ahead and use Imelda next, just so you can kind of get an idea of what a different character might look like. And the last thing before we jump into the next level, here are the rest of the stages. So there are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more stages that we have not even encountered yet. We're going to go ahead and do the Mad Forest one more time. But just to let you know, there is more to come in terms of environments, and we will get to those together. But for now, just wanted to do this basic one with you. All right, so based on what we experienced, we should be able to kind of have our game plan for what type of weapons we're most comfortable with. Now, Imelda is super nice because since she's able to auto-target, that means her damage is not really going to go to waste at all, because it will find its mark every time. We're going to take her damage, or her basic ability, to level 2, so we have 2 projectiles firing at once. Get more of those crystals to drop for XP. And we're just going to sort of circle this general area, because I don't want to get too far away from any XP that's going to drop. Alright, very good. Almost there, one more should do it. Alright, we've got knife firing quickly in the faced direction. And, oh, looks like I accidentally selected garlic, but that's what I wanted to do anyway. So garlic, as you can see, there's these 3 rings right around our character, and the damage that garlic outputs is actually enough to kill these bats outright in one hit. So garlic is actually super duper useful as almost like a farming tool, because you can just walk right up to the bats, they will automatically die, and you can kind of farm whatever XP they have. So this is very, very useful tool to be able to especially in the early game, farm lots of XP very quickly. Candelabrador augments area of attacks by 10%. We'll try out this Bombard one. Bombard's in a circling zone. And we'll take a look to see what that's like. Oh, okay. So this one is definitely very aim heavy. Some of them automatically fire, and this one it kind of looks like you have to know where you want it to fire at. Alright. That works pretty well. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a great job at targeting it every time, but just being able to get some damage out there passively is always very nice. Alright, there's 1 health drop over there if we want it. Of course, we're going to try to save it for the time being. Let's keep targeting these bats wherever we can. Okay, there's that whip, which we could take if we want to. I'm actually going to go for the attract orb, I think. Picking items up from farther away, so that way we don't have to get quite as close. Actually, let's go ahead and chase down this flock of bats. And that'll allow us to take garlic to level 2. The cross is very tempting as well, because that's a great weapon in the long term. So these swarm of bats, even though we had to run from them in the first scenario, here we actually want to sort of seek them out, because we can get a lot of XP dropped from them. Why don't we increase projectile speed, because we want to get our magic bolts out there a lot faster before enemies have the time to adjust to them. And let's get our magic wand even more buffed. So usually, from what I've been able to tell, the first instance of a weapon is just the basic weapon. The second instance of the upgrade for that same weapon will give you a second bolt. So for instance, for the magic wand, it'll give you a second auto-guiding hit. The third level increases the damage output, as you can see here with the garlic. And then 4th and up will vary between instances of damage and the damage level itself. Why don't we get the... well, yeah, let's keep leveling up the garlic. It's working really well so far. It's actually kind of refreshing just being able to chase these bats down and make them fear us, you know. Turning those tables. But here come those skeletons, so our reign of terror is going to be short-lived. Simply because these skeletons take a couple extra hits to take down. Okay, magic wand, why don't we keep leveling it up so we keep... Now we've got 3 auto-guiding projectiles, which is great. But that's kind of our ranged component. We have this garlic, which is our melee, so to speak. And then this wild and crazy random bombing strafing run thing, which is just kind of our wild card. Okay, we can get base speed upped by 10%, or this lightning ring, or the fire wand. Let's do the lightning ring. I don't think we've done that together quite yet, but it'll just randomly strike 2 enemies from heaven. Pretty awesome, especially when you get it to higher levels and you're able to get, you know, 3, 4, 5 strikes all at once. And over time, I mean, it does it every like 2 or 3 seconds, so those kills add up. Yeah, and let's get another projectile up and going for that lightning. Very good. Alright, I'm feeling pretty good so far. Not gonna lie. We've got a couple health drops there if we need it. And there's actually more little fire pits down here if we need to go explore those. What do we want to do? Area of effect attacks augmented by 10%, or the base damage of the wand. Let's get the wand even more buffed. Just since we really want those 3 auto hits to kill whatever they're firing at. Especially these little ghost things. Okay, pretty good. And we've got a nice sort of steady passive stream of XP coming in, which is very important. Let's see what our treasure is. And we are going to be blessed with 130 gold and a free garlic upgrade. And what is that going to do? Base area increased by 20%. Let's see here. Well, if we learned anything from last time, it's that the max health was probably something we should have paid more attention to. So let's not neglect our defensive obligations as well. Alright, we'll escape the ring of killer little shop of horror flowers here in not too long. If I can kill this mantis, that would actually be ideal, so I can get a free treasure before we get too many other type of enemies in here. I don't know if that's going to be possible. Very, very tanky. Alright, let's get our level 15 upgrade. I don't wanna focus on one enemy too much to the detriment of continuing to power ourselves up. So we're gonna leave him alone for the time being, I think. Alright, a nice little heal there. Good. Okay, this is a new one I have actually not experimented with yet. Bone throws a bouncing projectile. What does that look like? Oh. Interesting. Well, I feel like we've got a pretty good damage output, right? It's kind of hard to tell what the bone is. Oh, that was a misplay. I shouldn't have taken that health upgrade. Should have saved it for a rainy day, man. That kind of sucks. Oh well. Oh, there's our treasure. Can we draw the enemies away from it enough to run in there and snag it? Is that going to be possible? We are pretty fast, so I think... I'm not sure. Oh, here come those bats. Let's try to take advantage of them if we can. Deliberately get in their way so we can snag them. And them as well. Okay. Yeah, let's take Magic Wand, more projectiles. And the nice thing is that the Magic Wand automatically goes towards the closest enemy, so it's kind of like our failsafe. Alright, plus another treasure would be very much appreciated. Alright, and there's our Magic Wand yet again. Man, we are... Is it level 7 now? Yeah, passes through one more enemy, so it's going to hit through multiple enemies before it detonates. That is actually pretty massive, getting a 2-for-1 deal for effectiveness. Oh yeah. Okay. Good. Let's keep targeting these. So the bats are really kind of like the weak point wherever we find them. So we'll definitely target them. Alright, lightning ring base area damage up by 100%. That is great, because now, as it's randomly hitting enemies, it's almost always hitting them in the cluster, so we're going to get a lot of benefit out of that. One thing I found to be kind of effective is just sort of lightly strafe the front of the big group of enemies, because you'll almost always have like a big group chasing after you in like a huge bunch. So just try to find your way across to make sure that that damage is continuing to percolate in the front row. Let's see, max health. I think as much as I want this damage for the garlic, we need more max health. Because anything above level 20 is going to be very, very scary. And speaking of which, I would love to get some health. Nope. Sometimes you don't get what you need. Oh, there's something. I'm gonna dash in there. And that might have been just about even the health I lost trying to get it. A little hectic. Oh boy. I definitely think we need this shield from damage. Anything defensively minded is pretty crucial now at this stage. We've got a decent damage output. You know, it's not the best ever, but oh, so a little bit of a hit there. Am I going to be too greedy here? Nope, just made it. Alright, now we really are on the lookout for health drops. Please. I ask for so little. The trick with those bats is that they push enemies in front of them, so if you're not careful, you're going to get a pterodactyl to the face. I know they're big purple bats, but I think of them as pterodactyls. Come on, health, health, health. Nope, stupid coins here. Don't need any of those. You know, I wouldn't mind having a big army of skeletons chasing me right now, because I think I could get quite a bit of XP farmed from them. So the map, in classic 8-bit fashion, I believe wraps around. Oh, thank goodness. So I think, you know, the farther north we go, we will eventually come back around to where some of those, some of that XP from previous kills we made might be. So it will not go to waste. Boy, I need to take a quick break just to, you know, wipe the sweat off the mouse. So, raising inflicted damage by 10%. That seems pretty useful. Alright, we're up to level 20. I think we made it to, what, level 21 last time? Something like that? So, we're doing about just as well as we did before. And okay, here we go. Oh my gosh. We gotta sort of cut our way through. And we took a big hit right there in terms of losing health. Come on. Gotta find ourselves a path out of there. Okay. Good. Please tell me this is health. Nope. Please tell me this is health. Nope. Please tell me this is health. Also no. Please tell me this is health. Also no. Well, we're making good money. We're up to 429 gold. And we made it to level 21, so we did at least as well as we did before. Oh boy. Bracer, base speed up by 10%. I think that's the base speed of attacks getting out there. I say sure. Can't hurt, right? Oh man. Maybe we go down this road. Or walk this lonely road, the road that only road that I've ever known. Oh no. Here come the werewolves. When the werewolves come in, it means it's super duper bad. Bad for us because, as you can see, they do not go down easily. We are persevering. Alright, come on. Oh, a couple opportunities for help. Alright, some nice magnet action going on. I could use more defensive stuff, but I don't think that's gonna work. Let's get our garlic going. What else? I'm gonna skip this luck stuff for now. Probably max health, right? That's great. Magic wand to level 8, so that would max it out, or max health to 20%. Why don't we max out the wand, I think. Okay. Armor reduces incoming damage by 1. I mean, that will... It's probably the best we got, right? I think we really need to go defensively minded at this point. We're just surviving enough to make our way from fireplace to fireplace. We're up to 25, so we did set a new record for ourselves. This garlic aura is really saving our bacon, I have to say. Alright, let's keep thinning the herd here. That's good. Alright, so these ghosts, we have enough damage output that we can kind of treat these ghosts just like bats, and we're just sort of one-hit killing them. Reduce damage even more, yes please. We need that. Uh-oh, these werewolves, if they catch up to you, that is not great. I just need to get around this werewolf pack, please. Show me a, it's almost like a side-scroller at this point, isn't it? Just trying to move left and right enough to switch up the direction in which we're going to possibly find like a health drop somewhere. Okay, possible health drop, but also surrounded by werewolves. Nope, no luck. I'm very curious. I don't actually know what the mechanic is for whether whether those fire pits respawn or not. I'm actually very curious about that. Because if so, then that might make me a little bit more wary about, you know, using health earlier in the run. Okay. Can I get over there? Nah, it was probably a mistake. Got a little greedy. But we got to level 26. Pretty good, all things considered. And we got a new achievement, get magic wand to level 7. So we got a little bonus cookie for maxing out the wand. And I believe that is one way that you can unlock new weapons and new objects, is through putting all of your points in one particular weapon and kind of maximizing it. And that sort of gives you, I guess, an unlock to new opportunities, which I'm excited to try out, the duplicator. So the magic wand, I mean, for a level 8, you would hope that that would be our top one, because we'd put a lot of effort into it. But 87,000 damage, 100 DPS is crazy, and especially in comparison to everything else that's going on over here. But really, really fun, guys. I'm ready to jump into another run right away, and I want to do another another character and other levels with you guys. So please, if you enjoyed the video, drop a comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you're going to go get this game for yourself, because it is on Steam right now for like $5. So very, very cheap. Always great to support a small developer like this. Like I said, please like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more Vampire Survivors coming at you in the dark. Bye for now.